Good afternoon. It's a very beautiful, anyway, a very beautiful afternoon right here on A Farmers Media, where we are always about one thing only, telling the story of an African farmer. This is the Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe. I'll be taking you through all the way to 4 in the PM. Definitely, our times have changed because of the COVID regulations and everything that was said by the president when he made his 15th speech, and he talked about the 5 red zones, that is Nairobi, Nakuru, Kajiado, Kiambu, and Machakos being the 5 red zones, and the curfew being 8 p.m., and the rest of the country, the curfew being at 10 p.m. So definitely remember, our timings have changed, and we are not starting as previously stated 3 p.m. It's now 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. and not 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. I hope that one is addressed very well. And remember, COVID is real. The numbers that we are having right now are not looking so good, having more than 130,000 cases of positive cases in the country, out of close of 1.48 million tested samples since last year March, that is 2020. And so the numbers are not really looking good. The numbers of deaths are not also looking so good, and so we need to take care of ourselves. Remember to wear your mask properly, remember to maintain your social distance, and definitely, as always, if you're getting outside to the public, remember to always sanitize. And so that's all with the COVID numbers. We always reiterate that we need to be careful out there. We need to be careful how we are mingling with people out there, so that we can bring the numbers down. Let's not have positive rates of 20 and above. As always, let's maintain the 5% containment rate or below, as stipulated by WHO, that is the World Health Organization. And definitely let's follow the orders and the procedures that are given by MOH, that is in the country, or if you like to call it, the Ministry of Health. That's all regarding to COVID-19. But today we're going to be discussing a very important topic, a very um, something that is very it's not really talked about that much in the country, because maybe of where you come from, but it's a conversation that we need to understand, especially when you're talking about agribusiness. Right now we are in a pandemic. We are trying to do as many things as we can so that we can sustain our economy. The pandemic, remember, has brought about curfews and cessation of movement, so it's not easy to just live on what you're doing. Remember, as always, as I said in this show, having one source of income or more than one source of income is not a flex anymore, but it's a necessity as per now. So we are winding up on agribusiness, and today let's do something watu wa Luo Nyanza watasema fish farming ama ni fish farming, but currently you are going to do fish farming. Na I know if you're out there, pale ambao una remember you're streaming from a live Facebook page, that is A Farmers with a Z at the end. Kama uko pale sasa, chukua notebook yako, chukua daftari, kuja tuandike hizi notes. Maybe uko pale uko na zile stereotypes za fish is only found where we have large water bodies. Sasa kuja karibu nikupatie uhondo, kuja nikupatie uhondo that you can have fish farming wherever you are, in this country, in this region, that is Africa, or wherever you are in the world. Maybe you don't have a larger water body around you, but you can do this. Labda uko na karive mahali, ka lake mahali, man made or just natural lake, unaweza fanya hiki kitu. Si lazima ukue karibu na Lake Victoria or just larger, ama ukue in the sides of the coast. You can do fish farming wherever you are. So straight to the factors that you need to observe. Remember, this is a very sensitive agribusiness. Si ya kufanywa hivi hivi ati unaweza amka one day and decide to do agribusiness. Remember, you're talking about needs a lot of water, but not large water bodies. Si lazima uishi karibu na lake so that you practice this kind of agribusiness. So you just need to understand some of these factors that you need to follow ili uweze kupiga hii shughuli ipasavyo. But as always, remember, two things are always constant, as you have seen in agribusiness. That is one, market research. Lazima upige research yako vizuri kikamilifu. You understand what is needed in that agribusiness, what is you need to get to understand what is required before you start any agribusiness. Before you do anything to do with agribusiness, you must do your market research, and as always, get to know your niche, get to know what is happening, what are the challenges of the farmers around the market. Just get to know your niche, alafu utakuwa umeipiga kikamilifu na utakuwa mambo iko shwari. So the first or the factors that you need to observe when you start in this kind of agribusiness, that is fish farming: select an ideal land. Land is something that we've talked about every time we've talked about agribusiness. So select an ideal. The key word is ideal land. And we'll be talking about where not to do this kind of farming, or where it's the ideal place. But before we go there, commercial production. If you're into commercial production, unataka kupiga large scale fish farming, remember that earthen ponds, that's the fish ponds, they are the most suitable. So kama uko pale umeamua mine or your fish farming is going international, remember earthen ponds are the best, or earthen fish ponds are the best, are suitable for commercial production. Lakini kama unapiga location, unapiga pale zero grazing, you can use any other kind of ponds na itakuwa mambo iko salama. But as you are looking for a suitable on ideal land, remember that ensure that the land is flat and free from pollution. So usiende kutafuta mahali it's very hilly or rocky, utakuwa umepiga L zako pale mufti sana. So remember to ensure your land is flat and free from pollution. The third thing is ensure the land should have reliable water source, and this water should be of high quality and large quantity. Remember, it's high quality, large quantity. So kama unapiga shughuli yako pale ya fish farming, si lazima ukuwe na large water body, but ensure unapata the quality or the quantity that you're getting, is large. Si mahali maji inafika inakatika. Maybe it's a river, and we shall be talking the position or the position that you're supposed to set your fish pond or your fish farming. It's all about physics, lakini tutafika hapo. So your land should have quality, should be of high quality. We're talking about the water source. Si maji yoyote tu. We're not talking about the stagnant water. We're talking about water bodies like rivers, dams, either man-made, either natural, talking about lakes or rivers. But the rivers hapo sasa ndio shida iko, it's not man-made. Zile I mean it's not seasonal. Zile zinakuja January to July, alafu kutoka hapo unangoja hadi ile January nyingine. Make sure it's something that can be consistent. It's something that you can rely upon any time of the year, any month, any day. You can rely upon this water source. So ensure the quality and quantity is of standards. Apart from now usha select land yako, ushajua water source yangu ni river Mto Mawe, hapo sasa ndio natoa, that's my source. The ideal land nimepata, it's like 200 meters from river Mto Mawe, so niko sawa. Umepata land, umeshapata water source, uko salama kwenda. So the second thing, after you've gotten your land and your water source, enda sasa kwa construction and design of fish ponds. So hapa, ensure the pond design supports species you intend to produce. Remember, fish are of different species. Ni mingi, kuna tilapia, hizo zote, they are very many. So ensure as you're constructing or designing your fish ponds, remember all this you've done on the market research. Ushapiga hesabu yako, ushajua this is what is needed in the market. This is the demand of this type of species of fish in the market. So I'm good to go. So you construct and design the fish pond according to the species that you have actually picked on. And from there, an ideal pond ensures maximum production and good health of your fish. So ushajua sahi nachagua tilapia. Tilapia, by the way, is of high demand. Demand yake pale kwa market is very, very high, especially in Kenya. So ushajua niachagua tilapia. And so tilapia, the design and the construction of the fish pond where I can place my tilapias inakuanga namna hii. And so if the construction and design match the fish species, one, you are assured of maximum production, and the species or the fish will have good health. So you are assured of two things: good health and maximum production of your fish, at the end of what you're looking for. And so the third thing, so jua sahi sasa tunaenda kitu ya tatu. Tushafanya vitu viwili. We have already selected the ideal land. Tushajua ni wapi unapiga. Tumesema for a case study today tunaita river mto wa mawe. It's not seasonal, lakini technically ile mto wa mawe tunajua it's very seasonal, inakujanga tu alafu unaona two stones, hakuna mto tena. But right now our case study tunajua this one is a permanent river. It's all through, sio seasonal, it's all seasons, inakuanga hapo January to January. So our river now, or water source, is river mto wa mawe. And my ideal land is 200 meters from mto wa mawe. Hadi hapo tuko sawa? Hapo sawa. So tuko 200 meters away from our water source. We have already constructed our fish ponds. Tuko sawa? We have already constructed. So we go to the third thing. Select appropriate fish species. So this one being the third thing doesn't mean lazima uzifuatanishe hivyo. You can do the same because ushajua. Alright? So hapa ni kwenda kwa market kuselect. Ushajua supplier wako ni nani. But as you doing that, you've already constructed according to the species you're going to select. Pale upigi patapotea ama upigi guesswork. Ushajua na weka tilapia. So a case study ongeza, apart from the mto wa mawe and our land being 200 meters from this water source, weka pale tunaweka tilapia. Alright? We have already constructed where tilapias are going to stay. So tunaenda kuchukua, we are going now for this species. And this species, you're supposed to choose according to the location of the farm, the climate, and the market. Perhaps we are picking tuko mto wa mawe na hapo hawapendi tilapia, wanapenda trout. Hawapendi tilapia. So when you're picking your fish species, ensure they're in accordance to the farm location, the climate of our place hapo mto mawe, and definitely our market, because that's it. That's the most important thing. Our market. Hizi fish hatuchukui tukule. It's not for local consumption or just home consumptions. Uko na market pale nje. It's either international. Remember, watie, when you started talking about agribusiness, you must have a target audience. It's either local, na local tulisema ni hapo kwenyu tu. Hapo location yenyu, hata chief bado unamuuzia ni location yenyu. So that's local. Then you go to national. National sasa unapiga Kenya mzima. Watu wanakutambua, wanakuita nani wa samaki. Unatambua wewe ni mzito. Ikikuja kwa samaki, hauchezangi. And then there's regional. Now we're talking about the bigger region, that is Africa. Then you can narrow it down to Eastern Africa or East Africa. However you feel like, maybe market yako ni North Africa, South Africa, Central Africa. Venye tu najisikia. So that's the region. And now we go to the worldwide, where we are targeting other parts of this country. You're targeting Europe, Asia, North America, South America, and other parts of this world. So as you're selecting appropriate fish species, remember the species are going to be selected by the following factors. That's farm location, where the location of the farm is, the climate, and definitely and most importantly, the market. That is the most important, because how do you want to consume the fish that you're producing? So it's very good to understand that's my market. I'm either doing locally, regionally, nationally, or worldwide. Right? Ushapiga hiyo. And you remember you said tilapia is known to have a lot of demand, high demand actually in the country. Actually, hata ukiambia mtu sasa, if you bet with someone and umwambie name types of fish that you know, asiposema tilapia, huyo mtu amesikia samaki mara ya kwanza. So tilapia has a high market, and you cannot lack market for tilapia, whether you are a starter, you're doing it for the first time. Tilapia is always known to have high demand. So as you're doing your market research, unapiga market research yako pale, you can note that maybe And that, that's just something that is known out there. And perhaps there's a place where you're going to settle in. They don't really like tilapia. They have overgrown tilapia, they outgrown hiyo, wamesha outgrow tilapia, wanataka to try something new. So that one, all that you will realize that when you do your market research or get to know your niche. Those are the two things that are constant when it comes to agribusiness. The other one, avoid flooding and polluted areas. All right, avoid flooding and polluted areas when you starting to construct the fish ponds. Usipofanya hizi vitu mbili, I'll tell you the consequences later of why of of uh, of you not picking a place where you're avoiding flooding and polluted areas. The other thing, don't select land close to crops. This is the reason why you should not do that. Some fertilizers and pesticides that are used in the crops are actually very dangerous and poisonous to the fish inside the ponds. So tuko mto wa mawe, right? That's the region. Tuseme tu hako ndio ka location ketu, hako ndio kamtaa ketu kanaitwa mto wa mawe. But the river here, or the water source that we have, is called mto wa mawe. River mto wa mawe, right? But ka location chief ni anaitwa chief wa mto wa mawe. The place, hata stage ni mto wa mawe. So hapo ndio tuko, watu hapo wanapenda tilapia. Tusha establish hiyo kwa market research yetu. Niche yetu tushajua hawa watu wanapenda tilapia, it's our niche. But tumejua say the fish is not brought in time. That's the niche. Tushajua the challenges the farmers or the fish farmers are going through in that region or that location ketu kanaitwa mto wa mawe. So mimi nimeweka fish ama sisi tunaifanya pamoja, si ndio? So tushaweka farm yetu 200 meters away from this water body. Alright? Hako ni ka home ka area ketu. Hapo ndio tunacheza mtaa. And so hapo tuko na farm, right? Tunaweka crops zingine. Tumeweka managu, tumeweka sukuma, tumeweka hizo vitu zote. And so maybe 10 meters away ndio tumeweka fish pond yetu. Makosa ya kwanza. Because other crops will need, unajua tutakuwa tunazipiga fertilizer, tunazipiga pesticides. Lakini hizi pesticides zingine tunapiga, not all but some, zinakuwa poisonous to the fish inside our fish pond. Na kama kawaida, as always, tunakula eli zetu pale baridi tu vizuri tu, hata bila kuulizwa na mtu. So that we should avoid. So tengeneza, we piga distance yako mzuri, unajua these pesticides and fertilizers hazita spill over into our fish ponds. Hiyo iko sambamba? Safi. So we have already ensured we have our water body. We have already ensured our distance from the water body is, the proximity is okay. Ni 200 meters in our case. Tushajua sasa mahali tutaweka fish pond sio karibu na crops. Hiyo tusha establish na tushajua species pale tunaweka ni gani? Tilapia. Tuko sawa. So still on the construction of the fish ponds, remember slightly, just put them slightly lower than the water source. Sasa hapa ndio physics inaingia kidogo. We talk about gravity. Now we see most people who are doing farming, either you're putting your onions or onions, tomatoes, anything that you farm, most people pump water from the water source and probably the river. Alright? Now here they're always going against gravity. Sawa sawa, juu inapanda na ujue maji haipandangi juu. So you need extra energy, and that's why they pump. Hautaweka pipe itoke from the water body ipande to your farm. Alright? Because you're going against energy, and it's very hard to go against energy, against gravity, sorry. So here, because you want the fish pond to always have constant water all through, what do? You make sure you go with gravity. Alright? Unaona, so ukirusha kitu juu, it's very easy to come down. Lakini ikifika juu, mbona inafikanga mahali? It's gravity. Right? So for you usumbukane na gravity, make sure the fish pond yenye umeweka is slightly lower than the water source that you have. Kama ni hiyo unaiweka kiasi chini, so that it actually saves you the cost of pumping. Because now when you have your water body a bit higher in your water body yako, This is the source. Sorry, this is the water body or the source. This is your fish pond. So ukiweka nini hapa, when you put you pump, no, you having the water coming from the water source to your fish pond, you don't need pumping. Usha save cost ya kupump and all that. Juu kupump pia inatumia mafuta, either diesel ama petrol, whatever you're using, ishatumia mafuta. So that's one, you've saved on cost, and it's just natural, just flowing. You don't need to pump. Juu pumping can take a whole day just pumping so that you feel. Hapo unaweza fanya tu kwa raha zako tu, because it's natural, it's just going with gravity, so it's very easy. So that's why you should at least put your fish pond or your actually your fish pond slightly lower than the water body that you have. Mpaka hapo tuko sawa? Apart from that, the other factor that you should consider is the quality of the soil, the quality of the soil that you have. And this quality actually maximizes production. All right. And so these two things to note: rocky and sandy soil are not suitable. Never. Don't hata usijaribu, hata usifikirie, don't even dream of putting or having fish farming around a rocky and sandy soil. They are not suitable at all. So make sure the soil that you're having around is 20% clay, because kama umepiga hesabu yako vizuri, umepiga research yako vizuri, unajua clay retains a lot of water. So when your soil is 20% clay, we jua mambo ya water itakuwa inaingia ndani inaishia, because sand actually doesn't retain water. So unajua when you have 20% soil, 20% clay soil, you'll know it is suitable for holding water. But that is not all. You must know that you have to apply necessary and suitable fertilizers when you're doing this kind of farming. So apart from that, ushajua quality ya the soil, all right? Ushajua where to put the water body and all. The other thing, when it comes to some of the factors that you need to factor in as we wind up on the factors: suitable transportation system. All right? This comes in when you're buying the necessary materials and you're talking about the food and the medicine for this fish. So make sure you have a suitable transport system, either when you're coming from the farm to the market or vice versa. All right? So have a suitable means of transport. Ina usibebe tu na pikipiki ovyo ovyo bana. Isikuwe ni hivyo. Kama ni, if it's you're using a canter, ile lori ndogo, jua venye utaiposition, because maybe hata mali unaishi barabara nazo ni shaky. Just know how you're going to have your materials transported. Either you produce, that's the fish, after you've done everything, when you're transporting them, or maybe ukiendea dawa zingine zita spill over, or maybe for the food. So make sure the transport system ambayo umechagua iko sambamba. All right, that is very important to note. The last thing to note, or the last factor, is the market, is the proximity of the market from the land or from the farm. Ina usikuwa unapiga farm yako iko, for example, your farm is right here in Kajiado, all right? And your market, you've targeted Lodo. Unasikia Lodo, watu wanapenda samaki. Wanararuanga samaki breakfast, lunch na supper. Unasema sasa hata mimi market yangu iko huko. So make sure you target a market that is near your land. All right? So that's the last factor you should actually get to understand, that the market should be near your land. All right? So those are some of the factors that you need to consider before you even start all these things. But the market, as I said, is very, very important. So sijui director anasema tuende break. Ama are we taking a short commercial break and then you come back? Yes? We are taking a break. All right. So as we're taking a break, let's just highlight kidogo kidogo. So we have talked about the factors that to consider is select an ideal land. Secondly, construct and the construction and design of the fish pond. Thirdly, select appropriate fish species. na tumepeana example yetu hapa ni tilapia. And the fourth thing we've talked about is not how to build or how to construct your fish pond. Make sure it's slightly lower than the water source. And we have talked about the quality of the soil because it maximizes the production. Rocky and sandy soil, abundant katan sio yake, and suitable transport system. Just make sure you take note of that. And lastly is the market near the land, so the proximity of the market from the land. So when we come back, we shall be talking more detailed, we shall be detailed more on the posts or the ponds construction design and the feeding and the care management, all that after this short break.
Celery is a marshland plant that comes from the same family as carrots and parsley. It has long, firm and pale green fibrous stalks and grows in bunches of approximately 8 to 10 centimeters. The stalks taper into leaves at the top. When planting celery, it's best to ensure that the soil is enriched with compost and with a soil pH of between 5.8 to 6.8. It is also important for celery to grow in moisture-retentive soil. Lastly but not the least, select a site that receives full and direct sunlight. Celery needs about 130 to 140 days to mature between seedling and harvest. Growing celery is generally considered to be an ultimate vegetable gardening challenge. It's easy to grow, but has very specific needs.
And welcome back to A Farmers Media, right here where we are always about one thing only, telling the story of an African farmer. And this is the Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, taking you through all the way to 4 in the PM. And remember, we are always telling you, talking about COVID numbers, COVID cases, and positive rates, but always we can do this collectively. It's not personal. Right now, where we have that wave, it's all about the collective responsibility as a Kenyan, sorry. And so we need to wear your mask, not just wearing your mask, but wear your mask properly. Remember to sanitize when you get into any public building or just going to the public, and always maintain your social distance as always. And yes, we're talking about fish farming today. I don't know, I'm just in happy mood today. I'm just a happy man right now, because I think I should just venture into fish farming, and always work with a very brilliant team that always make me happy every single day that I come to studio. But that's story for another day. We are talking about fish farming before we went on a short break, and we talked about the factors to consider when you're starting a fish farming, and we talked about selecting the ideal land, and we talked about if you want to venture into commercial production, remember earthen ponds are the best or are suitable. And we also talked about construction and design of fish ponds. We also talked about selecting appropriate fish species. And so, in our case, we gave a case study of our land being Mto Mawe, ambako we said our area is Mto Mawe, right? And the water body or water source inaitwa river Mto Mawe, but our locality, our location is Mto Mawe. And so our land is 200 meters away from Mto Mawe, na tukajua species yenye tunaweka pale ni tilapia. Alright, hadi hapo tulikuwa sawa, and we have already made sure that the the pond mahali ambako tumeiweka, it's likely lower than the water body. All right, and also at the same time to may avoid the flooded areas and polluted areas. Na mali tumeweka hii fish pond, it's the distance is a bit further from the farm, so that we don't have the fish pond being polluted by fertilizers that are used in the farm, and also the pesticides, ili tusikuja kumaliza zile fish tumeziweka. And also at the same time we have already pale tuko Mto Mawe, tusha test the quality of our soil, tushajua our soil is 20% clay soil. Our soil is not rocky or sandy soil. Alright, hadi hapo tuko sawa. Apart from that, tushajua tumetafuta kanta mzuri sana, petition pale ndani, hata kama kule kwetu kujekwa lami, tushajua tuko na kanta. So our transport is very suitable. Tunaweza endea dawa, tunaweza endea chakula, tuko salama. And so at the same time tushajua we have already tushajua our market. Hatujaweka market yetu it's load or where. Tumeweka karibu na Mto Mawe. Where should okay, just say Mto Mawe is a big area. So our market is just Mto Mawe town. Our river is Mto Mawe. Our land is 200 meters away from Mto Mawe. Our market is Mto Mawe. Right? Hadi hapo tuko sawa. Tushatoka kwa the ideal land. Tushapata the species. We have already constructed our ponds. We have already made sure we have tumeweka zile vitu zote ambazo zinafaa kuwekwa. We have our transport ready. Our soil is okay. Our ponds construction place is okay. Our location is okay. And our market is okay. Tuko salama kwenda. But kidogo tu turudi hapo kwa ponds construction design. And something to be detailed on this issue is each type of fish requires special type of pond design. And also ensure good health. And this ensures that the fish are of good health and maximum production is achieved. So tilapia yetu tulishapiga pale kwa market research, tukajua tilapia the pond is supposed to look like XYZ, inafaa kukaa in a certain way. So that one tushajua pale Mto Mawe yetu, tushajua tunaweka tilapia already. that one hakuna balaa. Ile tulikuwa tushasema tunaweka tilapia. So we know tilapia, this is the design that is supposed, or the design that is required when you're putting, or when you're rearing tilapia, or that type of species of fish. And so this will ensure good health of the tilapias ambazo tumeziweka pale, and maximum production at the end of it all. That's the key. If you're doing this for as an agribusiness, it's for profits. So pale tuko na maximum production, na just for you to achieve the maximum production, it means hizi fish zilikuwa in good health. Alright, hadi hapo tuko sawa. So when it comes to selecting of the species, we talked a bit about this, but let's go detailed into this. Selecting the species, talking about those some of the factors you need to figure in, or to consider when you're taking or when you're picking or selecting the species, is you take those with great demand in the market. You see, for us tulikuwa tunafanya hii kitu pamoja, sawa. For us now, you've already taken tilapia, and tilapia, we know, high demand anywhere, has ready market always, and it's of high demand. So hiyo tulisha, those are some of the factors we considered before we chose tilapia. The second thing, species that grow faster and are profitable for commercial production. So hii kinda it's not ours, because for us we are not doing commercial production. Sisi tulikuwa tunaifanya tu pale mto wa mawe nini area ako ka locality ketu, na chief akiwa mtu mkubwa wetu pale, yeye akiwa customer number 1. Hao ndio walikuwa watu wetu. So yetu ni iko tu hapo ka locality ketu tu hapo, ako ka location tu ketu na chief. But if you're doing for commercial production, right, make sure the species you pick a species that grows faster and it's profitable, because sasa yako wewe una umetarget Tanzania, umetarget Europe, you know, you're doing it for commercial production, or rather maybe umeamua utakuwa una supply the whole of this country. So for commercial production, that is very, very important. And also factor in a species that is easy to maintain in your location and the place that you're growing or keeping this kind of species. So usichukue tu species yote juu ni pia pressure, umesikia beshti yako anaweka tilapia hii inafanya hii iko na profits mzuri sana, hata unaamua pia mimi wacha niweke tilapia, but tilapia ifanye vizuri ambako unatoka. So make sure that comes under the market research that you have done. So najua niko location inakaa hivi, probably my soil is not 20% clay, iko around 15 or 10, so haishikili maji vizuri, na tilapia inahitaji maji mengi sana. Ama niko mahali water source hakuna vile naweza weka hii kitu slightly below the water source. There's no way, no scientific way. So naamua wewe utaiweka juu ya water source and go against gravity, so always you're pumping, so your cost production is very high, and all your bills are very high, because lazima ulipe msi wa pump, ama kama unanunua pump it's very costly, roughly around 70 to 80,000 for a pump. So unaona wewe umeshaingiza 80,000 ambazo rafiki yako ako mahali anaweza weka the fish ponds slightly lower than the water body, so wewe uko short of 80,000 than your friend, right? So unapata if it's not suitable for your location, you cannot actually construct your pond just slightly lower than the water body. Usiforce vitu, iweke pale juu and then you can pump. Either way, the most important thing is to get the water. That is the most important thing. Si mahali unaweka, it's something to look at, but kama haiwezi, it's not scientifical, it's not, it's not haiwezi, don't force it. Kama hakuna kitu chini, there's no land below the water body, it's only above, iweke hapo na utakuwa uko salama. And also check on the availability of food for the species, kama ziko available around the area that you're keeping this fish, ama unatoa mbali, unatoa Lodwar na unaishi Kitengela, doesn't make sense, na labda unaweza toa hapa Machakos ama utoe Nairobi. So just make sure that the food is readily available. Also, get to factor in the species that grow well and takes less time to reach market weight. Unajua lazima ifike ile market tumeambiwa kuuza lazima fish zako zikuwe around maybe probably 10 kgs. Hapa nazo zile uko nazo the species that ambazo umeweka zinachukua karibu mwaka mzima kufika hiyo 10 kgs. You see, it doesn't make sense. So it won't also make sense to you. So make sure mahali ambako unaweka hizi the species that you have decided to keep, make sure they take less time to reach market weights and grow very well and healthy. So those are some of the things to actually consider when you selecting your species. You go to feeding of the fish. As always, provide good quality and nutritious food, and this ensures that the fish grows fast, and as always, maximum production is achieved. So when it comes to feeding of this fish, ensure the food that you give into the fish is of good quality and very nutritious. Zitakuanga very healthy and maximum production. Hiyo nayo unaweka pale tick kubwa zaidi. And specifically for the commercial production, manufactured supplementaries, you cannot just lack to have them. It's inevitable not to have manufactured supplements. So make sure as a commercial producer you have manufactured supplementaries. All right, that is very, very important to note. So when you're feeding this fish, ensure you buy ingredients separately and mix them in the farm. It's advisable, but again, see your must. 3 words, see your must. But it's advisable, right? Because ready-made food for the fish doesn't have all the nutrients that are required. Si zote. Kuna moja itakosa vitamins, ingine iko na minerals, because it's tuseme hii ndio packet ya the ready-made food ambao umenunua from your supplier. Na sasa hii imejaza vitamins lakini iko na minerals kidogo or even haina. So make sure unanunua ingredients separately. Unanunua kwa ule vet, unanunua kwa mwingine, kwa agrovets kadhaa unapata ile iko pale ama unaweza nunua from one agrovet then go mix at home so that you balance the nutrients, iko na vitamins na iko na minerals. And so when you're mixing at home, unaweza patia fish zako, and as always they'll grow very, very, very healthy and maximum production will be achieved at the end of the day. And so when it comes to care and management of this fish, it's very, very important. But that we shall discuss when we take a short break. And so, just winding up on the post or the ponds construction and design, we talked about each fish requires its own kind of special type of ponds design. So that one note, kama ni tilapia inahitaji yake. That one is very important, and ensure the good health. This ensures good health and maximum production being achieved at the end. So selecting the species, ensure the following: that has great demand in the market, and take species that grow faster and are profitable at the end, especially for commercial production, and get species that are easy to maintain in your location or the place that you're growing or keeping this kind of fish, and make sure that the availability of food for the species is there. So the food that this species or the type of species that you've chosen is available, and choose the species that grow well and take less time to reach the market weight. So when we come back, it's all about the care and management, marketing, or how to market yourself when you're doing after the production, and definitely the benefits. All this after this short break.
Farmers is the home of Africa Farmers Club, and by extension, African farmers. The whole idea behind Farmers is to transform the image of an African farmer from a producer into an entrepreneur, somebody who actually does not think about how to produce onions, but how much is going to be used to produce onions, and so that way then they can be able to transform their vision, they can be able to look at their farms as businesses, and they can be able to know when to engage with the market. What we have done is that we have developed a hub where farmers bring their information, bring their questions, their challenges, and other farmers are there to come out and help. Facebook has not just been instrumental, Facebook has been a working partner for myself as well. And how they have, Facebook has actually transformed the way we relate, an open platform. My background is in tech, and I know you cannot build a platform that can reach out to so many people. Initially, it was just a few farmers in 2 counties, Machakos County and Kajiado counties, but now it has transformed. We have a stronger membership from Nigeria and Zambia than even Kenya itself, you know. And the reason behind this is the messages I get from different farmers across Africa. And then something interesting came to my mind, and I thought about using the camera. Every time I visited farmers, I would be able to post in the community, in the group, in my own profile, and just share the story of the farmer that I visited. And then I asked myself, why wouldn't I get this information, develop it in a way that other people can be able to benefit? If we go for a training, how do we capture that so that those who are not, the farmers who are not able to come for that training can still benefit? And hence the birth of a farmers media. Our mission as an organization is to help farmers, African farmers, to attain knowledge and grow profits.
Yes, welcome back to A Farmers Media, where we are always about telling the African farmer, the story of an African farmer. Sorry, and this is the Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, taking you through all the way to 4 p.m. But tuko katika kipindi cha Lala Salama. You know what happens katika kipindi cha Lala Salama? Our newest baby, our newest segment, that is the pan of the day. And today's pan of the day, Allah, it's all about the prizes. And you're talking about I know of a scarecrow who won the Nobel Peace Prize. I go again. I know of a scarecrow who won the Nobel Peace Prize. Reason being, he was outstanding in his field. Yes, that is the pan of the day. Remember, you can catch all the pans of the day right here on the Drive Show with me, Conrad Kibe, every time when you're doing kipindi cha Lala Salama, na hiki kinakwanga kipindi cha mwisho, the last link as we wind up the show. And today we are talking about fish farming. We've talked about the factors to consider before you start fish farming. We've talked about the factors and the factors to look at when you're starting or you're selecting your species. Talked about feeding the fish and all that, and the market research, and definitely choosing your niche before you start the fish farming. And so we are going to look at care and management, and this is where mambo ya fish are not zikwangi vaccinated. Anyway, talking about the medicines that you give the fish and all that. So make sure all the tasks that you undertake when you are actually taking care of the fish are done in time and accurately. Vizuri, usikose hata step hata moja. And the first one, I'll challenge you, change the water of the ponds. So you already sure uko na water body or water source, so make sure you change this water, right? Maybe kulikuwa na pollution zingine haungezuia, so make sure after a few months or so, make sure you change the water, weka ingine mpya, lakini ukuwe na inlet na outlet. Usitoe maji yote alafu samaki zikufe alafu weke maji tena. Make sure hii kitoka ile inaingia sawa sawa. So apart from that, examine quality of water and soil on a regular basis. The quality of the water, kama iko contaminated, and definitely the soil kama ina hold water ama imeshaanza kulegea legea. And when you're giving the meds, make sure they are for the proper kind of species that you have. So kama ni tilapia, hakikisha unajua ile ndio dawa ya tilapia, so that the species will remain healthy and disease free. Sawa sawa, hizo ni vitu ambavyo unafaa kuwa ukitilia maanani. And talking about the prevent predators from getting into the fish ponds. Predators, you're talking about the snakes and the frogs. Make sure hizi vitu mbili zinaweza kumalizia stock vibaya, so make sure you're preventing this kind of predators from getting into your ponds. And not just yours, si zako lakini ni zako technically, lakini ni za fish. And use the nets while filling the ponds with water. Very important. So coming to collecting of the fish, remember, different fish or different species of fish reach markets or marketing weight in different ages. So when you're collecting them, usiweke separately. Usiweke hii ni kubwa, unaweka tilapia kubwa na katilapia kadogo, ama tilapia na omena pamoja, alafu unazipeleka pale kwa market weight. Kuwa mjanja mtu yangu. Kama ni tilapia zile kubwa, ziweke hapa. Kama ni medium size, pima pamoja. Kama ni zile tu omena, pima pamoja. So make sure usiziweke kwa basket moja, pia utakuwa unapiga hesabu zako mbaya, na kama kawaida utakuwa unafanya nini? Unakula mael zako baridi hapo hapo. So when it comes to marketing, remember we've talked about the market for fish, especially tilapia, is suitable and readily available. It's always there. Utaikosa market ya fish. It's just like what we talked about when we were talking about the piggeries. Hutawahi kosa market ya pork mahali. It's the same with fish. Suitable inakuanga iko kila mahali, kila mtu anakuanga, but they are very choosy, but it's there, always there. Hutawahi kosa market yake mahali. So when it comes to marketing, very important. So kama uko na daftari yako bado tunaendelea kumalizia notes, andika hizi ni za muhimu, hizi ni za kuandika. Hizi si usiweke tu kwa akili. So take these tips, all right? 1, send fish as soon as possible to the market. ASAP, as soon as possible. Zikishafika hivi unaona hizi zimefika market weight, hizi tupeleke sasa. As soon as you realize these ones have reached the market weight or the market value, take kimbiza kama baiskeli ya kuibiwa, take. And then the second thing, maximize price. Hapa ni mahali nilikuwa nawaambia the sizes. Kama ni tilapia kubwa, weka pamoja, ziweke pamoja. Kama ni they are the medium sizes, ziweke pamoja. Kama ni tuomena, weka pamoja, don't mix. Ukue mjanja, una maximize on prices za the large fish, za the zinaitwaje, medium size na tuomena twako, right? So some benefits as we wind up. The weather in the country is suitable. That's a benefit. Hiyo ni kitu moja umeweka tick. Unajua weather, especially in Kenya, it's very suitable for you to do fish farming, right? Second thing, numerous species of fish are readily available in the country or the region. So these are some of the benefits of why you as a farmer are supposed to get into or venture into agribusiness. And this kind of agribusiness, you're talking about fish farming. The other one, the third one, is high demand of fish and the price in the market. We've talked about having a suitable and ready market for this fish. So unajua tilapia ziko, so unajua hata ukiingia kwenye the business, you know there is a high demand of fish and the price in the market are very favorable for you as a farmer, and definitely for the consumers. The other one is great source of food and nutrition. We know watu tulikuwa tunaambia ukikula ukikunywa omega 3 sijui what happens, ukikula samaki your brain, all those things brings about uh, source of it's a source of food because watu wanakula ugali, samaki, you know watu wanaikula kama supper ama lunch, so it's a source of food and also nutrition, talking about omega 3 and all that, and source of employment. Utakuwa umeajiri wasee wapige hapa na pale, wana change maji, wana pump maji, wanachunga, wana collect, maybe driver sio wewe all these things, you are creating employment in the country. And the last thing is proper utilization of water resources. At least ile maji ikai tu ndio hapo, kama ni lake, kama ni dam, this unaipeleka into some good use. And the last one is the growth of the economy. At the end of it all, money is circulating in the market or in the economy. Ule we kama consumer unanipatia mimi kama farmer, napeleka kwa bank, nitachukua loan, nitengeneze fish pond nyingine. You see, the money is circulating and the economy is growing all around, so everyone is benefiting and no one is going at a loss. And so, as we wind up, one thing just to mention on the marketing: never transport your fish or your product far from the farm. We give an example of huko Kitengela, unataka kupeleka fish zako wapi? Lodwar. Here doesn't make sense, and your fish will decrease in value, you'll damage the fish. By the time unafika Lodo, unaona venye umechoka kudrive hivyo vyote, sasa fishes zitakuwa zimechoka hata kukuliwa, hata kutoka kwa hiyo lori. So make sure you're not transporting this fish far from the farm, or where you get it, or where you actually getting the fish from to the farm. So sisi hapa hivi tulikongana yetu, tukasema tunachukua nani? Watu wetu ni chief wa Mto Mawe na watu wa Mto Mawe. All right? So if you have a question regarding fish farming, remember you can contact us on our Facebook page, that is A Farmers with a Z at the end, ama our YouTube page. Kama ulikuwa umechelewa umeingia sahi, enda pale kwa YouTube page, tutakuwa tuna upload this video, you can be able to see it. And if you have any questions, remember as always the number to call, tutakuwa hapa kukusaidia. The number is 0700288185. Someone will be at the end of that call to help you, na utakuwa mambo iko sambamba, iko shwari. And so for the young people, you can try this agribusiness, it's good. All right, so that's all on or anything regarding fish farming. You can do your research apart from the notes that we have given or talked about today. Do your own research, see if it's something that you can actually get into or venture into. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation, and everyone who has made this production successful, starting with all my directors who are they're very creative minds, and they are very an amazing team behind. Wanashinanga wamepiga kelele kwa hii masikio yangu, but wanafanyanga kazi safi. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Until next time, I've been Conrad Kibe, and this has been the Drive Show right here on A Farmers Media, where we are always about telling the story of the African farm. Until then, have a lovely evening.